This evening I am exhausted. I got up at 3 o'clock this morning to catch a flight to New York for work, and I find that the airport is a great testing ground for bringing forward many of the traits that I try to reinforce with my reparenting work, most particularly patience. It's easy to immediately jump to that critical eye when people are in the security line and they're not moving fast enough, or it's almost like they've never traveled before in their lives. And that is a great moment to take a breath and bring patience to your inner voice, because that undoubtedly impacts your outer voice. And a funny thing happened for me when I decided to kind of take a step back and try to bring patience to those moments. And that was that when I was walking around the airport, I could actually see people's humanity. I could look at them and kind of recognize that they have their own trials and tribulations, their own trips that they're looking forward to or not. And that, it was 4 o'clock in the morning and we were all there and we were all just trying to live our lives. And what an interesting thing when I stop seeing people as things that are just in my way, and rather kind of focus on them as just another element that makes life kind of vibrant. Honestly, what if the airport was completely empty? There was no one there but me. It would be certainly very convenient, but it wouldn't be the same. It would be a very dull place. It would be a very empty place. One of the things that I'm coming to appreciate about reparenting and the loving parent work is kind of seeing it as a way to teach and reteach myself the attributes and traits that a supportive parental figure would teach me. So obviously patience, kindness, resilience, respect. There are a lot of positive traits that come out of kind of invoking the loving parent. And I think that, as I've said in the past, being able to do the internal work where I can kind of flip the script on myself and how I talk about myself and how I think about myself, and really bring the loving parent to that, allows for a greater degree of patience and kindness externally. And so I do, again, strongly think it starts with the internal and focusing on the internal. But that the ultimate benefit of it is that it really does shift your worldview. And it was not, it wasn't always easy this morning. The airport was crowded. It feels like spring break has been going on for a month and a half, with all these young people congregating in the airport. And it's like, what are all you people doing here? But then I have to remind myself, it's like, I'm here too, taking up space. Maybe I'm in someone's way. And so I think being able to, again, have that moment to pause and reflect and bring patience and hopefully kindness to the people around us, and realize that they may be struggling with their own things. There may be a person that's a really nervous flyer, and that explains why they're having trouble getting through the security checkpoint. There may be someone who has trouble with mobility, and so that's why they congregate at the front of the queue to try and get on the plane early. Oftentimes, the explanations we come up with in our heads to explain how people show up in the world are wrong, and they're just colored by our own frustration. And so trying to bring a different perspective to that and say that everyone has something that they're going through. So tonight, if you're so inclined, spend a little time thinking about anywhere today where you brought patience or kindness or just even a moment of pause to your day. Focusing on those moments in our lives helps us become better at identifying them in the moment when we're actually living them. And perhaps there's not something you can think about or something that you can call to mind from today, but there's always tomorrow. And so spend some time tonight thinking about where you want to bring patience or kindness to your day tomorrow. And do your best to try and live it. All we can do is take it a day at a time. So thank you for showing up and for being here. And I'll see you next time.